Welcome to the stage, Bhavna.
Have you ever feared speaking the truth? Raise your hands if you have. So if you've not raised your hands, I take it, do you always speak the truth? Good evening, my name is Bhavna Mistry. I am the heart-centered mentor. And for most of my life, I have spent it fearing speaking the truth. I grew up in an Indian family, very traditional, with a submissive female role. Also, we have a family guru that we looked up to. We had a picture of him in the house. To me, growing up, that was God. So at the age of 6, I found myself talking to my mum, who was interrogating me. Now tell me, did you take the £1 from my bag? No, Mum, I didn't. Now tell me the truth. Did you take the money? I am telling the truth. I didn't do it. So this went on for a little bit. And then she looked at the picture, and then looked at me and said, he told me it was you. I looked at the picture and silently screamed in my head, you liar. So next thing I did was I confessed. Yeah, I took the money. I just wanted to get away. My mum wanted to know how I'd spent it because I didn't have it to give it to her. In that moment, a lot of decisions happened in my little 6-year-old's head. They had a big impact on my life. By the time I was 17 years old, I didn't believe in God, I was an atheist, and I had learned to be the quiet one. By the time I became an adult, it didn't matter what work I was doing or where I was working. Over the years, I lost my voice. I wouldn't speak up, and I never even defended myself. Now, to get through this, life presented me with lots of different challenges, which are other stories. But through all these stories, I did energy transformation work. So I started with Reiki. Reiki is the life force energy. As you sort of build it inside you, you feel the expansiveness, the positiveness of the energy. It started to transform my energy. Then I got into doing transformational work like Qigong, which is the body's vibrational forces. I got into mantra, another type of vibrational force. Then I got into shamanism, talking to spirit, becoming extremely spiritual. There I was, one hand not believing in God, though I had started doing meditation. And on the other hand, I was in this amazing place. I was like, wow, there is such a thing as consciousness, spirituality. And the more I did it, the stronger I came inside. And it's these processes that I used with other techniques and tools I learned away that allowed me to get to the core of that child and get to that energy, pull it out, transform it, and put in something else. That's why I'm here today, able to stand in front of you and tell you to speak for my truth. As a result, I learned to go deep into my heart. And the deeper I went into my heart expanded, it grew. And through this expansion, I was able to connect more deeply and balanced inside. Today, I help other people do the same. So you can work with me on a one-to-one basis where we work with a particular issue. We go to the depth of it, we go to the core, we bring it out, transform it, so that you can empower yourself and move forwards. Or you can come and learn for yourself, because it's a tool that everyone can access. And this year I'm running a retreat in July. So if you're interested, let me know. But remember, whatever you do, if you speak your truth will empower you. Thank you.
Beautiful talk. I always say I like to tell the truth because it means you don't actually have to remember anything. Over to the judges.
All right. Very, very different energy, I found. I don't know about you. And I think it's nice to connect to the truth. So I'm trying to guess who she is as I'm listening to her. And so I'm probably, painting two very different persona and style. So you're more of a quiet sort of, you didn't sort of move so much, and you were more into composure and possibly sort of your own energy, as opposed to, you were very open. So very different style. Interesting to compare and contrast. But you owned it. I think you felt quite centered. I think your strategy was probably, I'm just going to stay where I am, and I'm just going to, speak from the heart. So I felt, you were rooted to the earth, and you were into your zone. That's what I felt, and I guess that's probably mirroring your work, and what you do with the energy. You don't need to be everywhere running around. Like you can just be centered, and the magic can happen from not doing much, actually, from just going inwards and speaking the truth. So maybe there was something interesting in the way that it was different, the way you acted the room to the message you wanted to come out. What would I say? Okay, you seemed a bit shy at the beginning, so I'm not going to lie, I'm going to speak the truth. But you controlled it quite well, so there was no nervousness, but I did feel some nervousness at the beginning.
My heart's still beating like crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know what else you could do to sort of try to get that away, because really when your voice goes into that beautiful rhythm, there was a moment where I felt, ooh, like she's really nailing it. So it's how do you get that more of the time and try to not have that little bit of vibration in your voice, and I can feel that nervousness. So whether you can do deep breathing exercise before the the time that you've got to be on stage, or whatever you do that makes you feel in that zone of confidence, whether you close your eyes, you do your mantras, I don't know. But I would like to see that longer out of the 5 minutes. I think I probably saw it for about 30 seconds when I was, ooh, she's in her zone now. What else? I thought maybe on the actual content, maybe the link, the storytelling is interesting, maybe more of a picture of why. Why did you decide to lie? Is that a pattern? Was that a pattern of you just pleased other people, or you just, I don't understand why would someone do this? Like, I would be like, no, I didn't do it, bloody well, I didn't do it. So why made you? So
it's a female, Indian families, traditional, male, submissive roles, all of that kind of played into it.
So maybe I didn't get it, sorry, but so maybe this is more about either that, so being aware of like what's the archetype role that your family is imposed on you, or your culture is imposed on you, or your race is imposed on you, or your religion is imposed on you, and maybe tapping onto that because that's universal, because then everybody can sort of come at it with their angle and say, yeah, that happened in my family, because otherwise I'm not identifying with your story, because I would never do that. But in the context of a structure or a societal issue, then it might actually get me in. So how do you get people in from the word go? You want people to nod. You don't want people to say, that doesn't apply to me. So I would try to reframe that early beginning to make sure that you hook people from the word go. That would be it.
Thank you.
Good. Okay. Good. So I'm going to follow on from that. So if you ever see Brian Tracy speak, or you have seen him, he's a very quiet speaker, right? He's not an army speaker. He's not a run around. He's certainly not Tony Robbins. In fact, he's probably the complete other side to Tony Robbins. But he holds a room of thousands of people with his energy. And I think what you need to start doing now is energetically be able to reach the back of the room. Because you are quiet energy, you are soft, but that doesn't mean you can't be powerful with it. So that's one stretch for you. The other stretch I felt was I kind of got lost where you're going with this. And there was a lot of a tip for any speakers out there, really look at how many times you're saying I in a talk, because I didn't feel enrolled. I felt that I was just listening to you talk versus being enrolled into what you're saying. So get us involved, ask us some questions. You know, don't assume everybody knows what Reiki is and shamanism, and you know, we know, we're fairly educated, but there's plenty of people that might not know. And even if they're, okay, so who here knows what Reiki is? Get a shout out, get us involved. You know, does anyone know that feeling where your parents are accusing you of doing something and you didn't do it and they're just not listening? Does anyone relate to that? Get us involved in what the point you want to make get across. And I felt that was really missing. You're such a beautiful, powerful soul that we're not getting that right now because you're kind of not letting us really in. You're not letting us into the truth. You're talking at us with your truth, but not letting us into it. And the way to do it is to enroll us into that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So keep working on that because this is going to go somewhere beautiful.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Bhavna Mistry, everyone.